I just got back from Vintage Days. And by far the most common question asked was, what do you do with 16 motorcycles after you buy them? And the answer is not that simple. You know, all my friends said I should sell them. All my kids wanted me to keep them. And all my wife, she's like, why'd you even buy them in the first place? What we did is a combination of all that. So let's go through everything and figure out what happened to the 16 motorcycles we bought out of a basement. So the first bike we pulled off the trailer was a 1985 Honda XR250, just like that 86 right there that we restored. That bike, we rolled it off the trailer, it fired right up. And it passed the burnout test. That one I talked my buddy into keeping. So I gilded him into that one. He also kept the KDX 200. We didn't get it running because the kicker was a little messed up internally. You don't want to screw any of that stuff up. Oh, there it slipped. So we have there it slipped. We have a broken gear, see there? So I knew he had a KDX 200 on his hit list. It's something he's been waiting for, finding the right one. And would you believe this one here just seemed like the right one. So he kept that one as well. How stuck do you think this is gonna be? Now, there were a bunch of ITs on that trailer as well. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. This is a really cool piece. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. The first one was the, what was it? Like an 84, 85 IT 200. It would be kind of like the twin to the one that I kept, but it was in way rougher shape. Oh, that's the one is that the one that had the cord on the spark plug cable?
Oh yeah, there we go. Counter steer safety mechanism attached to the spark plug. That's what it was.
The only thing I can figure is they were learning how to flat track race so that they can turn right and they're fine. They're fine. But if they turn left, boom, it pulls the spark plug cap, kills the bike.
Is that a thing or you're making that up?
I just totally made that up. Okay. So that thing fired up and it didn't run away. But holy mackerel, it kind of revved up a little bit. Believe it or not, we sold one. We sold that one for $400. Now, that one went to a local friend and it'll get restored and back out onto the trail. This is super crunchy. That one and this one are basically twins. It's an 84, 85 Yamaha IT 200. And if you remember this dumb thing, this is like one of those spring horses that you sit on when you're a kid on the back suspension. Look at that.
Wow.
That'll shoot you over the bars
Wow.
right straight to the moon. So here, hold on a second. At Vintage Days, would you believe I managed to find a rear shock for that bike? I also found a couple other things here that we'll discuss in a bit. So, I have a rear shock now. This bike fired right up, I think, if I remember correctly. Dan, roll that beautiful B footage.
Lighting coil.
Did she fire? She did.
Yeah, it fired up in 2 kicks, passed the burnout test, and I decided I was gonna keep it because I owned one of these one day for about 9 hours, and I sold it because I ended up buying the 79 that we restored, IT 175, and I wanted that one because it's the one that I remember from when I was a kid, my uncle used to ride, but I had to sell one of these that I had just picked up literally hours before to a buddy so I could get the other one. Here we are like 3 years later and now I got myself one of these. Other than that, throw a shock on, do some consumables, make sure the the shock needs rebuilt, fork needs rebuilt. The single go race already got stickers on it. It's got all the stickers on it. So I'm happy with
It's gonna
that.
go really fast then.
So that's the story on the this IT. It's sitting here looking pretty for a while. Moving on. I gotta get this wheel out, Dan. That would be wheelie cool.
Oh.
The next one was a 1982 Yamaha IT250. Pretty cool bike. This one here was ugly as all get out. If I remember, it was black. Got it to gurgle and burgle a little bit with kicking it, but it didn't quite fire.
That was close.
Long story short, would you believe it or not, but my buddy decided to keep it.
And you didn't have to convince him.
And I didn't have to convince him. All right. The next one on the list was that IT400. That was a really, really cool bike. We got some paperwork with it. It had on all the cool old like stock features. I believe it had, it had the bag, it had the headlight guard. Just a really, really solid old bike. Neat bike. We ended up selling that one to a riding buddy of ours who's been getting into some vintage bikes. Got $1,500 for that one. That thing is been as the day is long. Anyway, so I'm really excited to see him get that. I know I'll be seeing that bike getting restored. I say restored, it's probably not gonna get restored, but he's gonna get it dialed in, go through the suspension, the carburetor, get it that it'll fire up and go out and be able to do an old vintage race. And that's pretty rad. I'm stoked to see that. Same as the next bike was it was a 1980 IT250. I got some buddies that are really into the 1980, 81 ITs. And that was a really nice complete bike. Fired up after a couple kicks. How about three? Three? Is that three? Is that four? Those guys run the Arma series with us, so I know one day that bike's gonna be out on the racetrack. It's all right, we'll still beat them. We'll still beat them. So I'm excited for that. Our main goal for a lot of this stuff was to get it into the hands of people that were gonna get it, bring it back to life, use it, appreciate it, love it, all that sort of fun stuff. What I'm doing here, fellas, now is I'm trying to pull the motor off this bike, which I probably should have done before I pulled the rear wheel, because now it's sitting all stupid. Look at this chain.
Yeah, I saw that chain.
The next bike was a 1977 IT175. But this one had that really, really awesome aluminum swing arm that was an aftermarket DG swing arm. And then what they did is they put a YZ shock up in underneath. So that is pretty rad. Anyway, the night before we left for Vintage Days, which is this little get together out in Ohio that the AMA puts on every year, we decided it would be a good idea to grab a couple of these bikes that will run easy. We'll hang a for sale sign on them out there. We'll pit ride them with a for sale sign on, and we'll see what happens. Well, Dan, roll that beautiful footage of
What happened?
the chaos that was the night before leaving for Vintage Days. Whoa, should fire right back up. This is like riding a Bronco Bull. It's like one of those penny machines.
Get it off the stand, Craig.
I should, but I'm being lazy. All right, fine.
Uh-oh.
Well, wait. Let me turn the key on. Hey, makes a big difference, huh? Bet you I'm running low on fuel. Okay, so it runs. Yay! Now, most guys plan all year for this weekend. I don't. We're leaving in 12 hours. So the clock is ticking. Let's see here what we can do. Okay, so now we have a fuel filter, new fuel line. I know I got a 10 millimeter. It's in my pocket. And I got a 10 millimeter because I noticed that this was loose down here, and I don't want my shift shaft to strip. I don't want my shifter to strip on the shifter shaft strip.
Have you ever had a dream that you
Not there, tight. Take away that weeble wobble.
you you would.
Now my shifter shaft won't slip on the shifter. The shifter won't slip on the shifter shaft.
So much you could do anything.
This one here, let's see what we can do here. Yeah. Oh, look. Hold on here. Hold on a minute. I think we can fix this without tape. There's the bulb. There's that nut. That surely pops out. Look how easy it just made that. Tightened on there like that. Okay. Just stick that back together. This is like the kind of stuff you used to have to figure out when you would sneak your dad's bike or your uncle's bike or something out of the garage and lay it over out at the end of the driveway. And you like break the turn signal and you're like, oh no. So you have to kind of take everything apart and figure out how to fix it before they get home from work.
Is that what's going on? Now I know what you did all during school.
Yeah, we'll just tighten that up so it doesn't weeble wobble all over the place. I hate to do this, but I'm gonna check the air filter. And the reason I don't wanna check the air filter is because if it's dirty, I gotta clean it and re-oil it, and we're running low on time.
Oh, this is true, yeah. You better not check the air filter.
I'm gonna check it. Good news is it's salvageable. Make this seat a little more purty. The silver 100-mile-an-hour tape just wasn't cutting it for me. I don't know why upholstery works always scared me. That wasn't hard.
We could start an upholstery shop. Craig's Discount Upholstery. We tape up everything.
There we go. Let's do gas. I don't have a taillight. I need to figure something out here for a taillight yet today because you gotta have taillights out there. You gotta have a headlight and a taillight. Doesn't matter if it's just a flashlight, but you gotta have a red light in the back and a headlight up front. Anyway, let's get some gas in here. It's funny who shows up right when the work's done. Okay, so we got gas, fresh gas. So we'll do key on, run on, gas on.
Pretty good from here. It's nothing like waiting until like 2 hours before we go to Mid-Ohio to get bikes ready to go to Mid-Ohio.
All right, that's one. We got one more.
Look at that.
I think that was part of the reason.
I don't remember that.
Clutch is stuck.
No brakes. Maybe it just needs adjusting.
There isn't a whiff of brake back there. And we got a stuck clutch.
Miles tires make good smoke.
Got it. There it is. All right. This is going well. That bike just started on like the third kick. This one here is looking good. Things are looking peachy here. This one here is looking good as well. That clutch popped loose. All it took was a good old burnout. You know what I always say? Kittens are cute as all get out, and burnouts fix everything. Put that on the pillow.
It's a big pillow.
It's a
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words for one pillow. I think we have brakes now. Now let's see what this thing does. Well, it starts one kick. Clutch, now the clutch stop. It's like a Billy. Yeah,
That's a great bike.
it is a great bike. I say we load them up, go get ice, hop in the truck, wake up early, and then we gotta go load up grab ice, stop at the store, grab food, load all the bikes, load our clean clothes.
I mean, the other things ahead of that are more important than clean clothes.
Anyway, we got an early morning. Kickstand's up at 8 or at 3. So let's get to work.
Yeah.
Still got work to do. But we got 2 good bikes that we're taking out so we can sell them and get 2 or more better bikes. Funner, different bikes. Woo, that's hot.
Second place, Joshua Shucker.
All right, guys, so we did it. It is Friday. Shucker raced this morning, ended up getting second in his class out of 5. It's been a great day. We just got back from the award ceremony. We were up looking through the swap meet, and I found a couple things that are really interesting. But we had the price tag on this bike. And it's official now. We sold both bikes that we brought to Vintage Days. The IT-175 is actually, we sold it on the way here. I got something really, really cool planned for that one. That's gonna be a lot of fun. This beautiful DT we just sold to Dad and his son. His son needed something to ride around Vintage Days here and to ride when he got home. So we put a deal together and we got this one sold. Let's go meet these guys. I gotta say, fellas, this bike is good for burnouts. Can I do one last burnout? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how you christen a bike and hand it off to the next owners. All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Be safe. Okay,
Thanks,
cool.
man.
Thank you,
Good to
guys.
meet you.
Now, we get to go back to the swap meet with a little extra money in our pocket, see what else we can find. Awesome. Thank you, guys. That brings our total to $5,300. So far, we got to keep a couple bikes, and now we have $300 profit.
Mind if we get a picture together? Yeah, whoever for what? Hey, hold on a second, because I'm not it. Great! Holy dude! I've been wanting to see you, man. How you doing? Good, how are you? Good. Yeah, man, thanks.
This is a 95 YZ125. This matches our 95 YZ250 that we just did. Purple frame, should have purple seat. This is a pretty complete bike. Top end is off of it, and the rod's knocked out, but it's all the pieces are still there. It's complete. Pipe is messed up, but it's not a bad project. It's a very good start to a project. Not sure we agree with this number, but it's Saturday afternoon. Guys are getting itchy, and it's going to be time to start putting some deals together. So we're going to see what we can do. Okay, so now we're back from Vintage Days. That was a lot of fun, always is. Got to see some fans, got to see some friends, got to meet Carson Brown. I got a picture of me and Carson Brown. So that is all good and cool, but there's still a few bikes we need to go over. The first one is that 1992 Suzuki DR350. Now, if you guys remember, that one did not start. And the reason is, I think the choke lever was a little messed up and whatever, and it was like 103 degrees in here that day, and I didn't want to kick that bike a whole lot. So that's why it didn't start.
Oh, you're blaming the weather.
I am totally blaming the weather on that. I wanted no parts of that. That was awful. And there's that little 1993 Honda XL250, the white one. That thing fired up in a couple kicks, right? Yeah, look at that. And it did a burnout. Now, I had to do it against the workbench because the brakes didn't work, but still did a burnout. That's so much easier. There it is. I think we can just put that right in the chuck-it bucket. Now, I know those two little bikes will sell. They're decent bikes, and we just didn't find the right customers for them yet. But we will. We will. They're for sale. Somewhere at Google, a server just started on fire.
Oh dear, what is it? I've spontaneously combusted. Oh, I am sorry.
But here's a couple more bikes that we haven't gotten to yet. The next one was the 1985 Honda XR350. If you remember, that was one of the only ones we didn't get running, and here's why. I am not gonna try to start this one at the moment.
Why?
Yeah, man, I'm not sure. Yep, that's right, we didn't get it running because there wasn't an engine on it. Then there was that pair of KDXs, the Kawasaki KDXs. There was a 1987 KDX 175, and if I remember correctly, that thing was a ripper. Yeah, Kill Switch wasn't killing it, it was just shocking me.
It's biting back, Craig.
No, I mean, I guess other than the clutch being stuck, but we unstuck that clutch and it passed the burnout test. That was a fun bike. So when I was up at the race in Tamaqua, Tough Like Roar, one of our fellow club members and son approached us and said hi, and we were hanging out talking, and he asked if we had any bikes for sale. So we talked about what they were looking for and figured out the KDX 175 was the best fit for what they wanted. It is actually going to be, I believe, his daughter's vintage racer. So that is pretty awesome. I gotta bend that a little out of the way so I can get this out. And while they were here, they spotted the 1987 Kawasaki. That one was a KDX 200. Now, we didn't run that one because the engine was ratchet strapped in, and yeah, you know, it could be somebody else's project. Well, it turned out they decided they wanted to make it their project. So we packaged those two bikes up, sold them for $1,500, and that brought our grand total so far, without the ones that we've sold, to $6,900. And we got to keep a couple bikes out of the deal. Now, there was one odd man out, and that was the little Moto 4. And I say odd man out because it has too many tires.
That thing's the worst.
Right here. Why is it the worst? This thing's awesome.
I tried getting it running while you were away.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be really easy too. Well, I saw you get it running. I was like, Craig got it running really pretty easily.
I don't like it.
And by really easily, I mean eventually.
Did you get it running?
I got it to rev,
Well,
but it wouldn't stay on.
Did you video it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
All right.
we can roll the clip.
Play the clip because I want to see it.
All right, Craig's away in Ohio, and I think I can get this thing working. Oh, good, full of spiders. Get out of there. Okay, so they ran it off of, not this battery. Leave any gas in there for me? Yeah, some. All right, let's see if this has anything in it. It was running pretty well, so. Is there no starter switch on this thing? How do you go about starting this thing?
No. So, battery. Let's see what happens when I give it the old Allen wrench.
Skeleton key.
You know, the old Allen wrench starter trick. What the heck is this, Craig? Oh, shoot. That's what it is. Okay. Where's our stuff? Where's the juice? Where's the juice, Craig? Come on. You're hiding the good stuff from me. Where's the starter sauce? I'm assuming this is not best practice. This is what I'm gonna use because I can't find starting fluid. Basically got it started. This is stupid. Oh, no. Come on. Dang it.
Okay, well, we still have that one too, because apparently Dan's having fun with it while no one else is around. There we go. It's just that easy.
Wow.
Now let's put this back in here so that the back don't fall off. Because the last thing you want is for the back to fall off.
That's almost as bad as the front falling off.
That would almost be as bad as the front falling off. Maybe you guys are wondering what I'm doing here. So if you guys recall, last fall I went to an auction and I may or may not have bought too many motorcycles again. This was one of them. I forget what I paid for this, but it wasn't a whole lot of money. I'll go back through the archives and we're gonna put it right here, how much I paid. Make it fit right between my fingers.
Right between your fingers. All right, now we're gonna make it bigger.
And I thought that was a pretty good deal because I bought this for $15 at that same auction. And if you're curious, this is a 1984 YZ80. Sometimes I just wish there would be somebody else around here that has a set of hands that could help do stuff.
If only.
That didn't work at all how I want it to work.
Do you need me to help?
Now he asks if I need help. So I've had this bike sitting around now since then. And there's a reason I kept it around. It's because whenever I go to a swap meet, I like to have a list of things to look for. It makes the game kind of fun. I really like this bike. I love the color scheme of the old Yamahas, the red, or that's not red, this is yellow. The yellow and the black. It's just kind of my era, my childhood. It's what I remember being in the garage as a kid, so I'm really digging it. I forget how complete it was. I believe it was just the frame sitting there with the front wheel and swing arm and maybe the side covers. At the auction, I had to find the tank and the seat, which I did. I think I had to find this piece at the auction. I ended up buying that bike at the auction as well because it has a couple parts on it, mainly the bottom end of the motor, but it didn't have a top end. Well, fast forward or rewind, however you want to look at it, to York over winter, I found a pipe for this bike because it didn't have a pipe. So now I got a pipe. And then walking around Vintage Days, I spotted this. Ooh, this is the front number plate. Goes right here. These are super hard to find, these original ones with the louver and the black. This was in really nice condition. And he sold it to me for 20 bucks. Turns out, he looked really familiar, and then I realized he's the guy, same fella from York, that I bought the pipe from. So I got to catch up with him again. I was really happy that he sold me this for 20 bucks. That was a great find and a great deal. And then another fellow stopped me when I was in his booth. I don't know, he mentioned something. I said, well, I'm looking for parts for an 84 YZ80. And he said, I'm gonna take you to the cheapest cylinder on planet Earth. And I said, well, that's kind of handy because this engine is missing a cylinder. He took me over to a guy that had this. It's not perfect by any means, so it's gonna be really hard for you to see. But there's a crack right here on the liner, the port bridge, there's a crack there. And another small crack somewhere in the liner. But he sold it to me for $20, $25. It can be fixed. There we go. See? It's coming together. So it's been close to a year, but I knew over time, I was gonna find the parts that I needed to start throwing this bike back together. I'm pretty excited about it. These are cool old bikes. Now, don't be hollering in the comments section that I'm starting another project and when am I gonna get to the Busa and da-da-da. Fun fact, actually, the head for the Busa is scheduled to be here tomorrow. That means, I think, we have all the stuff that we can actually get that bike put back together now. I've said that before, and I've screwed stuff up. But hopefully this time I mean it. Anyway, this is gonna be something I fool around with over the next, well, until I can keep finding parts for it. So, now, if you thought we were done, well, you can't count, because there is one more bike left to show you. And it is right over here. The second bike I decided to keep is this little 94 Honda XR100 because, well, A, I wanted to be the guy to clean this tank off because I think that would be really satisfying. But B, I think I apparently inadvertently, somehow accidentally, started an XR collection. Because what you can't see is there's also 2 XR80s. One of them's at the house that my son's riding. And those kids grow like Canadian weeds, so I think it's time for a 100 already. This could be a project. It started, it ran. Did it do a burnout? Yep, it did a burnout. No, it didn't do a burnout. Just use whichever one makes the most sense. Running! Whoa! Wow. I don't know, I think this might be a fun project to take home and play around with, maybe get the boys involved, something like that. And there you have it. That's where we're at with the 16 bikes. Most of them are sold, some of them are staying with us, and a couple we just didn't get listed yet. We're not doing too bad on the deal. We paid $5,000 for the package as a whole. We kept 5 bikes, and right now we're sitting at $6,900. That is $1,900 profit that we got to go and spend on other bikes. It's been fun. All in all, I would do this again if I ever get the chance to buy so many bikes. I am all in, because it's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, find yourself an old bike or a newer bike, doesn't matter. Start wrenching, learning, having fun. Have a great rest of your Saturday and your weekend as a whole. Dan's gonna throw a video here and here. Check them out, know you're gonna love them. See you later. Have a good weekend. Man, this is a cool bike.